Hey guys, you're watching Boondocking with Dennis. If you saw yesterday's video, I was heading home from the hospital in San Antonio. Took the little Mathis to Sinton shortcut, but when I got to Sinton, the roads were closed. Lots of smoke everywhere. Got detoured. Got another detour. Pulled over and checked my bearings and wound up taking 77 south down to Odem, and I'm taking the back road, which I believe we're on 631. It's a road I'm familiar with, just not completely sure of the name of the road. I believe it's Farm Road 631. When I was driving Uber and Lyft, I had a regular customer in Taft who had a buddy in Annabelle in Corpus Christi. So this was kind of our back road to get from one place to another. You can see lots of wind turbines. The smoke coming from Sinton is absolutely horrible. The winds are just super strong. And not only is that all smoke, it's also dirt blowing off the fields right now. I don't believe there's crops planted right now, or if they have, they haven't taken a hold. So the dirt's also moving around. Absolutely horrible. You can the smoke smell is just so heavy. And I thought about cutting through another road from Taft to Bayside, but I could run into more road closures. So I think I'm just going to take this 631 Farm Road 631 back to 181, which we can then take the 35 and back to Rockport. I pulled over for a minute and kind of got my bearings, and when I checked my YouTube channel, the KRIS TV6 was reporting over 20 homes in Sinton were lost, 175 acres of damage, and while they've got parts of it under control, parts of it are still burning. Fire. We've been in a drought condition, so everything is really dry, and when it's super windy like this, it just takes a spark and the fire spreads so quickly. I did check in with my buddy Steve and his wife Sharon, and as far as they know, all the firefighters have been safe so far, and I hope they continue to do so. I mentioned it in the last video, but my buddy Steve is a volunteer fireman in Bayside, Texas, and they got called in to help out. It's just dry. I need to make sure I get to HEB pharmacy to pick up my prescriptions I need, 6 prescriptions. And I phoned them just to see what their hours were, and they're open till 8, so I do have plenty of time to get there. But they don't have any 0 of my prescriptions in stock, so they said they would be ready at 10 a.m. in the morning. So I'm hoping they all come in and I can just go pick them up. The hospital doctor was really concerned that I would make it back here in time to pick up my prescriptions, and it turns out yeah, I did make it back plenty in time, but they're just not there. Probably hindsight should have, well, we thought about picking them up in San Antonio, but then it's the getting the refills, you know. We're coming up into Taft, Texas right now. I'm sure they're concerned. I mean, we're on a peninsula in Rockport, and I'm concerned. That's how quick the fire can spread. And I don't think the wind is going to be as bad tomorrow, but it's still going to be blowing hard, like in the 25s and 30s. And I don't know what direction it's going to be blowing in. I haven't checked all that yet. But this is just one of the little ways I would get back to Taft. Most of the time I was going from Taft to Odem. But but just that open road. It's nice to get back on a road you haven't been on in 4 or 5 years, but not under these conditions. We'll make it right here on 181, and that'll take us down to 35 through Gregory, and then we'll hop on Gregory, Ingleside, and head up to Portland. It does, basically adding an hour and a half to my trip, but people are losing their homes, and I'm not going to complain about some gasoline. Gasoline I got today in San Antonio was $2.89, and then I looked at my Murphy a little bit ago in Rockport, and it was $2.43 a gallon. So I don't know if it was just that one station in San Antonio, the price was high, or if that's the going rate for gasoline up there. We tend to get lower prices in Rockport. Taft has a little strip here of fast food places, Whataburger, Golden Chick, gas stations. There's a Lowe's market here. Lots of Stripes, lots of Boleros. I see an Ace Hardware sign. Oh, that's right. I believe that Ace is part of Lowe's convenience store. So we'll just take this down a bit, and you can see facing this way, you can still see smoke, but not as bad as when we were driving parallel with Sinton, Texas. And I'm just praying for everyone there. It has to be absolutely terrifying. They actually closed the schools. They already announced there's no schools today or tomorrow. I guess that area did receive damage, and I know a lot of families are just dealing with things right now. I had read the mayor of Sinton had already contacted Governor Greg Abbott asking for assistance, and I'm sure they'll get it. Got a bird following us. Right up here on the right is that big refinery they put in, and that wasn't here when I first moved here, but it just shot up quick. They even built a special 6-lane hard-packed gravel road just to bring in the equipment and across the highway, and it was pretty interesting to see. And I think that refinery is for plastics. I'm not sure. I haven't really read up on it in 5 or 6 years. It is really nice to be out of the hospital. The last I had read, and I'm sure they've added to it since then, this Taft wind farm, trying to get some of this smoke and dirt off of the windshield, had 185 windmills to it. Wind turbines, excuse me. I'm sure it's larger now. And then that led me down the rabbit hole of reading about some of the large wind turbines and how vast they were and how the size of them. These are relatively small as far as wind turbines go. But on a day like this, they're turning fast. I noticed when I was driving the back road, there was one that was rotating the other way. And I don't know why that kind of threw me off. We're just heading south on 181. And yeah, we got dad jokes, but maybe we'll skip them today. I don't want to talk about people losing their homes and then come out with a few dad jokes. So we'll have to hit you twice as hard next time. My big plan when I get back to Rockport, I might swing by the pharmacy again just to make sure I heard right that they would have everything in stock today, but I just want to go park and go to sleep. I did get I got some food when I left the hospital. And it's funny when you're in the hospital that long. Like I guess I was in 8 days this time. You would think you'd want something really good when you get out. I have a curbside order place for tomorrow morning at HEB for Cheerios and skim milk and with bananas. So that's my big out of the hospital treat coming up. I did find out while I was in there that my cholesterol was a little high, which I haven't had a problem with before. And I think that'll be a pretty easy adjustment. I need to find out what the marker is between normal and high. So probably too much red meat. So it will be an easy fix. I have to say that the Methodist Texan has better food than the Methodist main hospital does. But the main hospital has a coffee shop. It was funny, my friend Ernest took me there, and with a wheelchair I guess we went through the main entrance and not necessarily the emergency room entrance, but you walk through a coffee shop to get to the emergency room. And it was pretty funny. I was in the emergency room, waited, I don't know, a half hour, 45 minutes, which isn't bad at all. And they called me up and took all my information. And then once they looked at my previous Methodist visit, they got me right back into a room. And they looked at me right away, and then I didn't see anyone for about an hour. And I played that game where, like, anyone walking by, I'm like, hello? Like, I really just wanted some water. But apparently the decision was made to admit me. And while they were working on that, no one came and told me, hey, we're going to have to admit you, which I already knew. And I got put into a room with an older guy. No problem. You don't want to share a hospital room with anyone. He left the next day, and for 2 nights I had the roommate from hell. I've never seen a more miserable human being, cursing at the staff. He's going to sue everyone. Just nonsense. And he had to have everything his way, and he brought a bag of drugs with him because he knows what's good for him, and he knows how to take care of himself. And he tried talking to me a couple times, and I just said, buddy, I don't want to talk to you. You're just a miserable shit. And I didn't say shit. I said the F word. So I just don't have time for just the way he was talking to the staff and just abusing the women. You're in a hospital. You're not in a hotel. They're not there to... He wanted someone to rub his neck and to rub his foot. He was eating rice and got a piece of rice caught in his throat. He wanted a lung specialist brought in. And just out of hand screaming. He screamed for 2 hours that he was choking, and then I guess he forgot about it and moved on to the next thing to complain about. So I felt really bad for the staff there. So we are in Gregory, Texas now. Every time I pass this little jail up here on the left, I always remember that's Lou Diamond Phillips got arrested years ago, 5-6 years ago, in Portland, Texas. And they took him to the jail here in Gregory, which I thought was weird. Maybe Portland doesn't have a jail? I don't know. But we used to make videos from this old building up here on the left. And if anyone remembers, they would always have 20, 30, 40 old rusty vehicles in their side yard, which they basically cleaned out a few years ago. We got the trains going, and we'll take this down to 35. The speed limits on this road go from like 35 to 55 and back again, so you really got to be careful coming through here. can still see just all the smoke in the sky. I wonder if we're going to get a sunrise tomorrow. It's supposed to be clear, but with all this smoke, I don't know if we will get one or not. When we get back out on the highway here, I'll shut it down. There's the overpass right there. If we make a left down here, we'll be heading to Aransas Pass in Rockport. And if we make a right, we'll be heading to Portland and then Corpus Christi North Beach. So that was our little adventure. Keep praying, guys. Keep all the first responders safe. Keep the firemen safe. Pray for the people of Sinton, Texas. 20 homes is a lot of homes. I know places, well-deserved, like California, that had all the fires, in Hawaii recently have suffered major home losses as well. But we're still in a drought. We still need the rain. The winds are still blowing, and those extreme fire conditions still exist. The factories are just getting released, so there's a bit of traffic going on down here. Hey guys, I appreciate you for hanging out. I'm going to try to get some rest and keep healing up. I really appreciate all of your concern and your kind words and your gifts and your prayers. Thank you very much. We're about 15-20 minutes outside of Rockport, Texas right now. Thanks for riding along today. Thanks for watching.